Morning, Jomon. Good morning, Dr. Goman.
Good morning, Nandini. Nice to see
See
you.
you. I know, same here.
Wonderful. Yeah, nice to see you. Great.
Okay, why? Okay, not getting connected. Getting connected, he said that I don't know what is the problem.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Roland, and others, so it was Joe, Gopal, Mridula, Nandini, why don't you start at least? Because some of them may be a little pressed for time, particularly Ron walked out of a training program in Bangkok. He probably have to go back. Roland, we have you, listen to you. We have your views on online education. What do you think it will work, and do you think Asian managers are tuned to education? Roland, what are your views?
My been I did answer.
Yes.
You better be ready. Because online education is where education is going. And it's more economical. It opens up a whole vast resource base online for virtual education. And I'm very excited about being here. And I'm looking forward to doing what I can to support and participate, because I know, Dr. Rao, you've always been on the leading edge of everything. And so this is one more great opportunity to influence India.
Do you think OD and whole system transformation, can they... I see Rohita from Sri Lanka joining us.
Yes. Yes, I can hear you now.
We get a view from Roland. Just talked about his view of online education. I just asked him a question.
I add something else.
Yes.
I'm involved in Penn State University. It's one of the largest universities in the United States. It's now the #1 HRD program in the United States in terms of doctorate program. Penn State is having difficulty filling seats in their classes physically. They have no problem getting students online. Our doctorate program there essentially sold out. Master's program, the new master's program that's just starting now, so in just a matter of months. So there's great interest in people around the world who want to learn online because they can do it from their home.
You work in many countries. Right now you are in Thailand and you work in Malaysia, you work in India. Do you think it has any distinct advantages because of the language issues in Asian countries?
I think that's an issue, but I do think it's an issue, and I also think that in some Asian countries, the bandwidth is not strong enough. The internet connection is not strong enough, but it's going to get strong. So it's in the right direction. Have been working two big projects were in languages, and I translate everything through a translator. The important thing is they need to know OD or HR. They just can't be a translator. But once I think, I do believe that it can be, taught in another language. But I'm going to make the assumption here that this program is going to be in English.
Yeah, I want to ask Rohita from Sri Lanka, who just joined us. Rohita, can you hear me? What do you think of online education as far as Sri Lanka is concerned? You are saying you are still in the earlier stages, but what are your views?
When you take Sri Lanka, government has taken various initiatives to develop e-learning. For an example, government is in the process of establishing IT centers in all rural areas and providing infrastructure facilities to schools. And also they have a program called Nanasala. Through that, they teach students, ordinary level and advanced level students, subjects like mathematics, science, and so on. And apart from that, of course, Sri Lankan universities also have taken certain initiatives, especially Colombo University working with Swedish International Development Agency, and Kelani University is working with JICA, Japanese Aid Organization, to develop e-learning. And Kelani University, one of our leading universities, I was told that they have started a program even to teach up to PhD level through learning. But I must tell you that it's in a very primitive stage. But when you consider the literacy rate in Sri Lanka, which is about 99%, and the population, which is about 83.7 in the rural community, you get Sri Lanka, there is a huge potential for learning. I'm sure very soon this will have a drastic growth. Why I say that is, when the Y generation, they are more IT savvy, they are more receptive to IT, and that will pave the way for e-learning to be in the island. So this is my
Is it in the corporate sector? Smaller, relatively smaller country with a little bit of physical proximity, doing concentration in 2 or 3 major cities. It's necessary to have an online kind of a thing for corporate.
Certainly yes, because time is precious. And when you take corporate sector, the managers are really tied up their work during daytime, office hours, and traveling also takes a time percentage-wise. And also, when you take, as I told you, the rural, in the sense when you think localities of corporate and traveling time and other engagements, it will have a huge potential. Certain blue chip companies, multinationals, and say public quoted companies, they have started e-learning initiatives for their organizations. So that shows that will pave the way. But as I told you, take the expression and baby boomers, and that receptive to learning, that would be a challenge. So to mitigate that, of course, to encourage them to make use of this e-learning, perhaps we will create some awareness sessions, then facilitate them, and certain initiatives need to be taken.
Thanks, Rohita. I wish Qazi Ahmad from Bangladesh also joined us. Welcome. Can you ask?
Very good and clear. The question is, can you hear us? Hear me?
Very nice. what do you, I hope you followed. We want to have your views on online education in Bangladesh. I think you have a huge organizations that are going on. So any quick comments on what current status and is it likely to work, or the Asian managers, Bangladesh managers are tuned to this?
Thank you, sir. Very quickly, just a quick introduction, I should say, I used to be a full-time faculty member of a private university teaching, their programs. But now I run my own farm, training farm, called Future Leaders. This is my experience. About a couple of years back, it occurred to me that online education for managers could be a very good approach in Bangladesh. I attended ASTD meeting in Singapore. There was a regional conference. I don't know if you still can hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay, great. Thank you. And I met the Skillsoft guy. I think it's US-based online education provider. Skillsoft must be a familiar term to all of you. I was excited, and I said, okay, in Bangladesh, I will promote it. Story short, went and met many people, many corporate sectors specifically, but we are at a stage where people are skeptical that education in its full form could take place in online. So we also thought about blended learning, meaning, of course, that you should do videos, do exercises, but then at the last point you can do certificates. So some banks actually buy Skillsoft, and in fact, other provider actually, there are two providers in Bangladesh. Now, after 1 year or so, they backed out. They said the amount we invested, the ROI could not be recovered. And so it's kind of a backtracking. So far, I can stop here. So I think bandwidth could be a problem. I think the mindset is even bigger problem. So that's it for now.
A bigger problem?
The mindset that education is a face-to-face thing, tactile, physical, not visual and auditory, meaning all seen as not so effective as a perception. Reality may not be the case. I grew up, I learned many things online. I mean, web, this TED Talk, whether it's YouTube videos, and I can go on and on.
Yeah, I think the potential is fantastic. I'm associated with Pepperdine University, the best national organization development program in the world. My daughter is right now. I saw the online component of their class before they met face to face, and it was incredible. All the students got to know each other. They made videos. It was a preliminary tea group, and it's like it was wonderful. And what's going on? This is not the case here probably with your program, but after their face-to-face, week program, the internet just lights up with communication and interaction and sharing and so forth. And so the ideal is the blend. But I totally believe that there are resources out there, and students can find the imaginative ways to be creative and get involved. Online protocols. So I think you just got ahead. The concern is, can you make any money doing it? And I think you can. You don't have really big classes. I think the key for me, actually, we've been trying to think about how to do a tea group online. And for me, it's like if you have only 4 people interacting, and you have your class is like 12 or 15 people, and you have, groups working a lot online, and they come together also online, not as often as they're interacting with each other, because people need to be able to talk.
Just to add another point, we saw that language also be a barrier for executives, young executives in Bangladesh. Our level of English, generally speaking, is a long way to go. India, in that case, or Sri Lanka, is far ahead, but we are trying to catch up. People wanted so-called low material, saying the context, which is being so different. Let's say a US-based author's leadership ideas and the homegrown realities being so different. So maybe give some time just laying excuses in my opinion, but also have some merit in it. I stop here now.
Friends, we have joining us Kabali Subramaniam from Open University. So I'd like to quickly capture his thoughts. Kabali, are you able to hear us? Can you hear us?
Yes, Professor. Please go ahead.
We will have your thoughts, and after that, we also have on the panel Professor M.G. Jomo from XLRI, who teaches in Gulf region, and also they have a very interesting satellite-based program. And then we have Professor Ramnarayan from the Indian School of Business, who are planning to go heavily into online education. I think they are in their plans. We'll have in that sequence a quick set of thoughts from each one of you. And then at the end of it, we'll check with the Indian corporates at Dr. Gopal Mahapatra, and if any of them are able to join. Kabal, what are your views? Now you're teaching in the Open University, Arab Open University. What have been your experiences of online education for the Gulf region or in Indonesia?
Thank you, sir, for this wonderful opportunity to meet all and interact, share our thoughts on this. Just to give you a brief introduction about our university. Aram University is around 10-year-old university. We have this, across the Gulf and the MENA region. There are branches, and around 30,000 students are pursuing courses. As Professor from Bangladesh rightly said, now we are offering our programs using the blended learning approach. It's 25% face-to-face, 75% other modes of learning. And actually, we are partnering with Open University UK for all the course and the programs. And this is the basic philosophy with which we approach. And for us, my experience with online, yes, it is catching up very fast, and there are a lot of opportunities. And I just looked at your program also. You have designed, I think to some extent it's blended. In the first part of it is online, and then second part of more of interaction and so on and so forth. I appreciate that. I think that's going to be the future. My understanding on my little research on this area, what I found is blended learning is the best approach. Even research suggests. On one line we have online, and the other line at the other end we have the face-to-face. But blended learning is a better approach, the research suggests. So initial thoughts, and I'll come back to you if required.
My quick thought of that, I think blended learning has been better right on a college campus where people are living and staying.
Yeah.
You're right, Professor. If I may.
Where was it? Give me an example. This is a employer. I can't remember what country I was in or where I was. But the employers said they wanted students who were really competent working online. Oh, yeah, it was Emerson University in the United States. Interesting there. I was involved in a change and intervention there. And the rule was no professor could ever bring a book in the classroom. No professor could ever assign any written materials. Everything had to be virtual and online. after their experience with a year or two and tremendous resistance by professors, they by and large agree that it's great to get rid of all the print text and all the books, go to all online learning materials.
That's interesting. I always held a view, Roland and other friends, that when we did this programmed learning almost about 40 years ago, people used it to say that teaching machines and the Skinnerian model of programmed instruction is fine for sciences and engineering, but when it comes to humanities, it will be like teaching less intelligent people. It always preferred that there must be skill development only through classroom contact. In fact, that is what we thought, that if we have to teach a group of people how to conduct performance conversations, why do they teach them about things but ultimately that is likely to give something useful. That is what we thought, that prepare them online in terms of knowledge and then provide skills. Work, Joe, in satellite-based instruction, Professor Joe Moon from SRI. Any views from you?
Yeah. In fact, yesterday evening from 6 to 9:30, I was in a class, satellite-based class. So I had around 170 students across India from more than 30 locations. Okay, I just some disturbance.
Yeah, I think that's from the TVR's Bangalore office. Black, she's not muted.
Okay.
Yeah, I just,
Not a problem. Not a problem. Yeah. Okay. So, in fact, I like this mode of teaching. I really enjoy it because you're almost reaching out around 170 plus students, or sometimes even more than 200 students online, and it's interesting experience. And very often, of course, they also come to the campus at the year. They come to the campus, when they see you in face to face, we are almost like a film stars. We have taken a number of classes, and for the first time they are seeing you in face to face. And some of them are very senior people in organizations. So this is a fantastic experience. Let me also mention this for the regular course in XLRI. So an academic information system. We have something called a discussion forum, which is actually an online component. In all my courses, I keep open this discussion forum, which is offline. That means when we are not in class, still students can, comment on the previous session, and they can also put up their questions and etc. I find it, really exciting, this component of it. I'm talking about XLRI, the regular courses. Even there, I think students are very active on this. In fact, what I've done during the last 2 years is, I said, besides whatever we discuss in the class, so whatever is there in the discussion forum, which is online, I say this is also part of our syllabus. And let me tell you, this has been a fantastic experience. We had done a very interesting program, an MDB program, for an example, in Kenya, on team building. Can you imagine this? On team building, web-based.
You did that sitting in Jamshedpur or?
From Jamshedpur.
Okay.
From Jamshedpur, doing a program in Kenya on team building, through web-based program. Of course, it needs a lot of preparation. We had to write to them previously. These are the materials required. We had a demo, etc. But let me tell you, it was a really fantastic experience. Of course, I had some problem in language. Of course, they speak English, understanding of the language, etc. But then it was only a matter of French. And we almost did this program for 1 week, 3 years duration. Fantastic. I think good feedback we received, and all of us here in XLRI also enjoyed that program. So therefore, I think online learning is the way forward. In XLRI also we are thinking in a big way how to go forward, and I think this is the way forward. I'll also come back to you later if anything else that we need to share with you.
Oh, thank God. That's very nice of you, Joe. Very good.
I had a question for Dr. Jomon. Is there any challenge that you find when you have online learning and when the ownership is with the student itself, that the completion or the certification gets stalled? That let's 60% don't complete it as against in a full classroom aided training of 100%. Have you ever had any those kind of complaints on online?
Yeah, we have such issues. What we say is, see, for example, if they are admitted for the 2014-15, say by chance if you miss a component or even assignment is not submitted, etc., they get readmitted in the next academic year. But their admission is valid only for 2 years. So in such programs, we may have to define the duration within which they will have to complete. Unlike a regular program where they have to complete everything 1 year, in this case, we may have to extend a bit more so that they actually complete within that time. Of course, if they are not able to complete within that time, we may have to say goodbye. And normally they comply with it. Absolutely, they are very keen, and normally they do that. If you ask me what is the percentage of people those who default on this we are maybe 1% or something like that. Very few numbers.
Thanks.
I noticed Dr. P.R. Murthy has also joined us. I don't know if it is connected. Please, can you hear us? I think he'll come back. Ram, are you online? Professor. Okay. Now, Ram, I think lost the connection with him. We had a few messages from people who couldn't join. I will at the end. Now I think it's open for anyone if you want to ask questions or if you any particular member of the panel or panelists are still there from different countries. Gopal, would you like to say something on the corporate sector? What is your view? You are in Oracle as well as in RPG. Gopal, are you with us?
I probably think Gopal has a problem with his sound.
That's right. I think he's not able to hear us.
Yeah, I just asked the question. I just asked the question. We'll do that. So, can you quickly share, Gopal?
You'll speak up, Prof.
It's anyway. You can do that. Thank you, Gopal. Now, Gopal has some very interesting points. I think one point he mentioned is that this is the way the Indian corporate sector is going. Lastly, Gen Y is highly learning oriented, 70% of them. Second thing he says, it is likely to be very successful if it is blended into the individual development plans, IDPs and so on. So both the pre-preparation as well as the post-online learning has to be integrated into this, and I think he also subscribes to the view that multiple kind of learning methods used may go well with the current kind of a generation. Are you there? Narayan? Are you able to hear us? Is there? Anyone of you who would like to ask questions? Roland is online, and our friends from Sri Lanka, Rohita is online, and Qazi from Bangladesh is online. Subramanian from Open University, Gulf is also online. Arab Open University is online. Is any questions? Anything you'd like to know?
Here's my big concept. Every time I go and I enter out of India, because invariably I see bold someplace the word feedback. And of course, he brought that concept to India. And I think that we need to jump into this program and solicit feedback from the professors, from the students, from whoever, and use that feedback to learn. And about how to make compelling, exciting learning online. We know that it's coming. I heard the other day that Google is already putting up satellites so that the entire world will have free Wi-Fi in 5 years. That's incredible. And this is the other thing, a suggestion I have, is what modality you use is going to be on the smartphone, because this is what's really important in learning in the next 3 to 4 years. It's going to change tremendously, and so I think it's important to try to get your program into the smartphones right away.
Rohini, comments?
I think, Professor, your institute is going to, starting this e-learning programs, especially to teach HR through e-learning or web learning, can make a difference, and I'm sure that we can encourage even Sri Lankan corporate sector employees to take part in this.
Well, there have to be a ton of ideas on LinkedIn. That's for us here. And of course, the other resource is, it's not ASTD anymore. It's ATD, talent development in the United States. It used to be ASTD. There's many resources there. There are many universities. There are many corporations that are really into the online learning and teaching. So we just have to let's learn from what's going right now and implement those things.
May I raise a point here? I want the panel's opinion or their view, the recent success of Coursera's and edX's.
Yeah, any views? You have gone through some. Himanshu has gone through. He's going through one of them.
Maybe I could just mention about FedEx.
Yeah.
I think it is very popular in XLRI. In fact, we have an association of FedEx here in XLRI, and our students keep raising this. And let me tell you, even any big conference, I think almost all the students want to the hall. We actually keep a big screen, and the discussions, the talks are not more than 20 minutes time. And of course, the people those give such talks are from somebody made a news recently. Therefore, this is one place I get to see almost all the students. So it's packed. So FedEx, I think it's very, very successful because they give an idea or a discussion within 20 minutes time. Therefore, I think the moment we are saying, hey, there is an idea, and we want to elaborate, and maybe even leading to skills and even application level, it can be given in 15 to 20 minutes, then everybody is there actually to see that. I think I've seen it in XLRI, this trend, yeah.
Very good. So you think that's working very well?
Yeah, it's working very well. I think it's becoming very popular. That's for sure.
Professor, sorry interruption.
Yes.
I think referring to TEDx.
Sorry,
I am
TEDx.
referring
Sorry.
to edX,
Oh, sorry.
and Coursera,
I was
the
referring to
online
TEDx.
platform courses.
Yes.
I was referring to TEDx, yeah.
I actually want to quickly add, the last few months, I've done 2 courses on Coursera. One related to leadership, very famous professor, and the other one about work-life balance. Both very top U.S. universities. And in these days of massive free online courses, it's amazing how much courses are available. The entire video text is available. So if somebody has a language problem, what and the exact text is also there. The assignment, I don't need to tell you that, and there are on interactions. I can go for the certificate, but really, by doing 2 courses, I realized there's a huge. MIT started a long time back. I know, but I have a question to all of you, or rather, I should email you. How in Bangladesh, start off based on your experiences, especially after a TV program. The Skillsoft didn't work because the complete American module and although very high standard, some organizations, their executives felt that they were not ready to consume them as it is. So how could it be more Asian? How could it be more subcontinental, if you will? So I would have after this conversation on this conversation on WebEx here.
Randy, I think PBR has some issue in terms of technical problem. He is able to hear us, but he is not able to communicate. So he sent me a message. There are some things I'd like to read out for the benefit of all of us. He said there are 2 million or 20 lakh unqualified HR professionals who have come up from. So that is almost unqualified HR professionals. In India, this is a very good opportunity for them to go through the learning. Also, he says, regarding where to start, ideally is facilitator guided, but it can be reached in steps slowly. Also, the courses need to be recognized to help employment. There are parties like massive online courses, but they don't have on HR. Now, which is true. I also feel the with edX, I went through the whole lot of things which Harvard and MIT offer, and also Coursera. Probably 8 things that are relevant to HR. A few of them are on change management, but a large part of them are on IT-related kind of things. So that is one comment I have. I get from Gopal. Gopal, are you able to hear us and also talk? And Dhananjay from NHRD has joined us. Dhananjay, are you able to hear us? Gopal? Gopal message that he can now speak. Gopal? Hear us?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Mobile communication is not working, Gopal. So I think I'm afraid we will just go on to Dhananjay from National HRD Network. He just joined. I see him, but I don't hear him. I think I want to thank you. I think this has been very useful discussion. Any last comments that you want to make? From us, I'd like to take this opportunity to say that we have been experimenting. We have in our certificate programs were past. We didn't never call them online, but used it to be a 3 to 4 month kind of thing. We sent materials in advance, and later we have 3, 4, 5-day contact programs, which skill-based. These will be followed by project work and so on. I think for each program on competency mapping, on performance management, and on HR audit, I've heard a whole lot of them. A large number of people went through, and I think our graduation rate used to be, I think, around 50%, which means people who don't complete the project don't get the certificate and so on. And I think we were able to establish by now a reasonably good kind of a brand for this. So the test now in online is now we want to prepare as many as possible through the knowledge-based courses, and from there, if people choose to come, then they can come for a contact kind of a thing. But ultimately, from Joe, if we can get into a satellite-based instruction like what XLRI does, it might be useful to that kind of a mode and so on. So eventually, we will move on to this. So this is a little bit about it. Nandini, do you want to say something from CEO of TVRLS?
I think it's very encouraging because the overall flavor is, I think, clearly directionally that is the way to go. So I think it's very encouraging because we have a larger team who, from whom we can learn and who will seek out support from time to time, either smaller sessions. So I think overall the entire flavor is quite encouraging. Directionally, I feel it's the right direction, and I'm enthused by the fact that Dr. PVR said there are 20 lakh HR professionals who certainly, even if we are able to catch 10%, I think they'll make a quality difference to the field of HR.
Yeah. Any comments from any of you? Any concluding comments? In the meantime,
maybe I can add one quick comment. What I think that will work in this is if you can keep the program quite rigorous. Otherwise, we will have high dropouts. Let me explain what I mean. You have a belief that all those who come for this program are self-motivated, and they will all complete, etc. I think we can make mistakes because people have good intentions, but when they have the difficulties of life, and also priorities change because of which very often they do not. But what we have tried to do, is this, that we have a program very rigorous. Including, even if it's online, have a continuous quiz, continuous check, and I think especially in context, this check and balances and examination, these I think are very, very important. And they like it. Even in my class, I have realized, if quite, loose, and, if I say, okay, students take it easy, you don't do well, and they also don't give you a good feedback. And if you are very strict, make them go through, etc., and finally they give you good feedback. I think this is one thing I think people must keep in mind. How you make this online education very less, time, also reaching out to them and helping them out in various stages so that they will complete. Otherwise, you can have a very big drop. I think this is a very challenge in India, especially. Those who come for this program, their intentions are very good. That may not translate at the end of it, the complete program. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Joe, I think it's very nice.
If I may add.
Are you able to hear us?
We were not having Wi-Fi. This is Kamal Singh and Dhananjay here.
Oh, Kamal, yes, you are on the other side. You are hiding.
Actually, we missed a lot of your discussion because we didn't realize that we didn't have the Wi-Fi where we are holding a board meeting.
Actually, we are in basement, so they could organize just now, sir. So we missed the major part of the action.
Yeah, we had some very good participants. We had Roland from Thailand, then we had from Bangladesh, a few friends from Sri Lanka. They are still online. We have had a quick set of views from them on what is the possibility of the online education working. We have Professor Jomon from XRI, of course you know very well. We're still trying to get Professor Mahapatra. I think there is a little technical problem, but he has sent us his views. Dr. Murthy online. He can hear us, but he is not able to. He said a very interesting message where he said there are about 20 lakhs of HR professionals who have risen from banks.
Okay.
They all need to be trained, and there is a good opportunity for this and so on. So, any quick views from you? You are both Dhananjay, Kamal, you have worked so long years in management field, do you see as scope for online education? And what is it that the National HRD Network is planning to do?
Definitely see a good future for online education now. I think we attempted online education IMA several years ago, but that time it did not click, and we are having a feeling that we arrived much earlier than it was supposed to. But now certainly there are institutions who are pursuing online programs, and compared to what we were 10 years back, and in terms of technology bandwidth and also the ability of people to benefit out of this, is close. I think the online education is certainly the answer now, and it will certainly catch up, and we will have many more organizations coming up in this field and trying the venture. And as regards the HRDN, I think we are discussing it today in our leadership team about this collaboration and also the possibility how we can support this initiative. We will certainly come back to you, sir, once that is taken care of.
To add, sir, three specific pointers with the government's Digital in India initiative and digital revolution reaching the larger part of the country. It is a must, in fact, online education, and keeping the work life also balance in mind and the kind of work hours people have, online education is certainly the future, sir. The small experiments which we have done with webinars are very, very successful, which only means that even if we talk about 1,000 delegates, and fortunately Nathan sir is here, for his webinar on HR analytics, we had 164 participants. So, which certainly...
Mr. Nathan.
I didn't want to disturb the flow of the discussion, so I just, this is called like a video bombing, I just happened to be in the room, I decided to just join it.
Oh, wonderful. Nice to see you.
Yeah, a small experiment has clearly shown that there is an appetite, and NHRDN as the national ethics body, we have to be definitely a very aggressive player in this field, sir.
Wonder any questions to ask? We have a large number of people. We have people from Sri Lanka, Sullivan, who is right now in Thailand, and then we have somebody from Bangladesh and also from Arab Open University and so on. Any quick questions you like to the NHRD network would want to know from them?
I have a quick couple of questions. The one question that I have, the one that I have is that...
That's Nathan.
My name is Nathan. I'm the National Secretary for HRD. And one question I had was, now we have a lot of people who believe that this is something that we can do together. What do you think would be a good way? Because now, since many countries are involved, some things are agnostic to countries, could be country specific. But because I think in this globalized environment that we are living in, the question is, what the programs do you think that we should start off initially, number one? And the second question is, make sure that there is a wide acceptance of what our programs are to be. Sir, that you had taken a very quick online test, how does it, if you want it once a week and once a month and so on. But we have to get to the root of it, what is the one that can work? Because there are a lot of online programs. What would be our differences? So those are the kinds of larger questions that will come. So the two questions that I have is, what do we do, and that would be our differentiator.
Well, it's something I suppose we have to evolve, but one lesson I have drawn from the last 45 minutes discussion is that there are not too many of the kind of courses which we talk of in HR that are around, from the edX or from Coursera and across globally. And at the same time, I think what I learned from Roland, I think he has a experience of working with several universities, that a lot of OD can be done online. Roland, you want to comment something on that?
Oh, I do think a lot of OD can be done. I think we taught like in other course, and I do think that OD and HR is a differentiator in what other people are doing. I think T.V. Rao is known as the guru of HRD in Asia, and so he has the good housekeeping seal of approval. If he's doing it, then it must be right. And so I think that's a unique differentiator. I think another differentiator could be if you're private, independent, and so you have a freedom and a flexibility that you don't have to deal with some of the bigger universities.
That's a very interesting point. I think that's very important. The universities sometimes happen to be pretty in terms of syllabus and so on. Another thing, Nathan, I have learned from discussion. Very interesting thing from Jomon, from XLRI. The satellite-based things seem to be working very well, which means interactive sessions. What Professor Jomon said was that from XLRI they were even able to train on team building. XLRI, a group of people in Kenya and so on. So I think you cannot totally displace the interactive kind of a thing, whether it is online interaction or whatever is the satellite-based interaction and so on. So it is something which we are trying to incorporate. So this is another differentiator, that it's not a mechanistic kind of thing, but this will all be on the basis of satellite and so on. Joe, would you like to add anything on that, Professor Jomon?
Yeah, right. I think students, on the whole, they would like to interact with the professor, even for satellite program. Even when they actually give you a phone call, and if you are able to respond and spend 1 or 2 minutes with them, they are very excited. So I think that's it's a blend of both. I think that where it can actually make a difference in India. Most of it online, and maybe a small component of it, wherein the faculty or our team experts to meet them and clarify some of their doubts. Even actually, especially in Indian context, I think they value a lot actually meeting the professor or the resource person. Even for a very short time. I think the blend learning is, I think that is likely to make a huge impact.
Dr. Rao, just 2 points, Dhananjay this side. We can also, because as in addition to what Professor Jamon talked about the academicians' perspective, practitioners also, because once we're talking about online things, so our professionals from India, professionals from other parts of the world, Sharad Bhai is there on the call from Bangladesh. We had a discussion in US also on this. Practitioners can also share their views, how the training function, how the different functions are doing here in India, in Sri Lanka, in Bangladesh, in Qatar, and other parts of the world. So both views will be very important, in fact.
Very true.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you have any occasion to discuss with Musharraf? Musharraf has sent me a message. I think he is not able to connect, but he sent a message. Are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here, and I will share findings with him, and I will let him know that he has been mentioned and so on and so forth. I just say that since we are essentially known for our human population, if not for human resources, and online again is the way. But I take your permission to email with each of you so that we take it forward. In fact, yesterday I wanted to say hello to Mr. Dhananjay Singh because yesterday that I went to the National HRD Network webpage, and as shall I say, I became a sponge and learning about the developments. Why I say this? At the end of my email, you will see that we are launching Bangladesh Organization for Learning and Development, which is both, and not the broad HR, but we want to see how learning and development culture can be instilled in the entire nation, of course in small ways. But the reason why I almost asked Dr. T. Rao whether I could be included here is this. We like to take this in the end of this year. We will be a viable model of online education where I want to pick notes from Ronald, from Professor Daman, and TV Rao, of course, and all of you. So please allow me this opportunity to get back to you, one so that you can make a little contribution in our effort to launch our online programs for the masters in Bangladesh.
Aziz Saab, it will be a privilege if we can be of any help or assistance to you. So feel free and we'll be available for you.
Thank you.
I have a message from Musharraf. I don't know why he is not able to join. I thought he will join. He says he sees a great deal of advantage of OLEP in Bangladesh when many nations cannot afford costly face-to-face learning on program by withdrawing the employee from the workplace. If the learning of the OLEP is flexible, it would be an excellent opportunity. The government is nowadays very supportive of online learning and education. Our programs must be very credible as we receive lots of online learning offers on a daily basis. And I want to ask what is the kind of a scenario and so on. And he says, I think the online platform is very feasible in Bangladesh nowadays. That is what he concludes. Rohita, are you Rohita?
I'm there.
Yeah, you mentioned about Sri Lanka doing a lot of work on the school level, right? Has it become totally online or is it still interactive? And what have you
That of course totally online. On and off, they have this online process, but that it's a government initiative. They are trying to all the government schools go online and provide the opportunities for especially those rural schools to enhance their education standard by making use of this IT infrastructure facility. For example, it's very difficult to send good teachers to rural areas to teach mathematics or science subjects for advanced levels and so on. So, by making use of this platform, so say web learning, they are to create a conducive environment for the students in those rural areas.
Thank you. Kamal, anything from the Arab Open University, you have concluding statement you have to make. I think we have already crossed 10 minutes of our original time, 5 minutes. We'll conclude in the next 5 minutes.
Quick two things. One is as every panelist was insisting that we, the recognition and the accreditation, the one issue. The second one is the pricing, because the kind of available knowledge, free knowledge available. How are we going to price the revenue model? So these are the issues we need to keep in mind when we design such courses. Thank you, Professor.
In oil-rich Gulf area.
Yeah.
All right, other comments from anybody concluding?
Yeah. Yes.
Conclude now.
Sir, having attended this discussion, I thought that we, since I'm representing the large HR professional body in Sri Lanka, whether we can enter into some kind of agreement with your institute to develop certain online programs for Sri Lankan corporate sector, because there's a potential, huge potential, since you are coming to Sri Lanka on 23rd to address the entire premium crowd in Colombo. So it will be a good opportunity. I can enter into a MOU also and explore the possibility.
Sure, it will be a pleasure. Since I've been doing some work for your body even earlier, it will be a pleasure to work out, and then I will discuss this when we meet on 23rd. Thank you very much. So thanks Dhananjay, thanks Kamal, thanks Kamali, thanks Gopal, thanks Fuzzy. Roll, thank you very much for finding time, and I hope you can now have lunch in Bangkok.
Well, I got my lunch right here. They brought it.
Thank you, each one of you.
Bye-bye.
And I don't know how I lost
Yeah.
Professor Ramnarayan. Gopal, thanks a lot. PB, thanks a lot. I think you can hear us, although we can't hear you. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. And great talking to you.